for the program 60 Minutes Nigeria, another edition, and it promises to be exciting. My name is Ego Sagula, your anchor on this week's program, and I also have with me very distinguished personalities who will join me to dissect the topics that we have for today. We'll be looking at the National Assembly's threat to President Muhammadu Buhari, and that was after a joint section of the National Assembly, and of course resolutions reached and resolutions communicated. We'll be dissecting that on the program today. Also on the show, we'll be looking at the recent landmark event that took place, and that was the signing into law, the bill, Not Too Young to Run bill, signed by President Buhari into law. That is another issue we'll be looking at on today's program. I have with me very distinguished personalities. We have a legal practitioner and human rights activist in Edo State with us, Mr. Patrick Isekwene. Nice to have you on the show.
Welcome, madam.
We also have with us a very seasoned politician and political analyst, Comrade Godwin Iraho. Nice to have you on the show.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yes, at home.
We also have a political analyst with us, an eminent personality, Mr. Eyi Galwa Andrew. Nice to have you on the show.
Good afternoon, viewers.
Okay, so the stage is set. The joint section of the National Assembly met. It was an emergency meeting of the National Assembly joint section, and at the end of that joint section, resolutions reached and resolutions communicated to members of the public, and of course, it was communicated to the president. The area of interest to most Nigerians was at the end of the resolution, where the National Assembly, the joint section of the National Assembly, asked Mr. President to implement the resolutions so that they would not be forced to invoke their constitutional powers of checking the president. That's the interest. That's what has generated a lot of discussion. But let's hear from Senator Dr. Bukola Saraki, who actually conveyed the resolution of the joint section. Let's hear him out before the discussion.
The security agencies must be given the marching orders to curtail the sustained killings of Nigerians across the country and protect the life and properties of Nigerians, as this is the primary duty of any responsible government. 2, the systemic harassment and humiliation by the executive of perceived political opponents, people with contrary opinions, including legislators and judiciary, by the police and other security agencies must stop. There must be, 3, there must be strict adherence to the rule of law and protection for all citizens by the President and all his appointees. 4, the President must be held accountable for the actions of his appointees and must be ready to sanction those that carry out any act which will ridicule or endanger our country and our democracy. 5, the government should show sincerity in the fight against corruption by not being selective and also prosecute current appointees that have cases pending against them. 6, the sanctity of the National Assembly should be protected and preserved by the federal government by not interfering in the business of the National Assembly and prosecute those who invaded the Senate to seize the mace. Democratic elections must be competitive and inclusive by removing the present reign of fear and intimidation particularly as we approach the forthcoming 2019 elections. The National Assembly will liaise with the international communities through the IPU, APU, ECOWAS Parliament, CPA, Pan-African Parliament, EU, US Congress, UK Parliament, United Nations to secure our democracy. The National Assembly will also work closely with civil society organizations, trade unions, NGOs to further deepen and protect our democracy. Resolution 9, the President must take immediate steps to curtail the growing level of unemployment and poverty in Nigeria, especially now that we have the advantage of the oil price rising up to $80 per barrel. 10, both chambers of the National Assembly hereby pass a vote of confidence on the Senate, President, the Speaker, and the entire leadership of the National Assembly. 11, we also hereby reaffirm our earlier resolutions of the vote of no confidence on the Inspector General of Police, who does nothing other than preside over killings of innocent Nigerians and outright disregard for constitutional authority of both the executive and the legislative. And finally, the National Assembly will not hesitate to invoke its constitutional powers if nothing is done to address the above resolutions passed today.
We've heard from the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, who actually read the resolution of the joint section of the National Assembly. Like I said, it was an emergency joint section, and that has made Nigerians reacting to the resolution. Okay, we'll get started here. We'll start with Mr. Andrew, a seasoned political analyst with us. Yes, you heard from Senate President Bukola Saraki. Now, the first of the resolutions, he talked about the need for the security agencies to be tasked to end the killings. You'll recall that killings in Nigeria made Christians and, of course, faithful Catholics recently to stage a protest march. So what's your reaction to this resolution?
Well, I would say this resolution was long overdue.
Okay.
The Senate, being an arm that involves making laws, you know, I felt they'd be taking Nigerians for granted.
How do you mean?
I mean, because you know the series of killings that has happened in Nigeria before now. We're not talking about goats and cows, human beings for that matter.
And life is sacrosanct.
And I still feel coming at this late hour to take such resolutions has an undertone on it.
Okay.
Because I still feel they have their ulterior motive. If you look carefully, before now, the new PDP, I think they were agitating for something. They were wanting to see Mr. President at all costs.
Okay.
And I think, having seen the president, maybe what they discussed didn't favor them. That's why they are not coming with this resolution. Because an assertive legislators, even if one soul was taken, they swing into action immediately and see how they can remedy the situation. They waited this long, to make sure their aim, their own selfish interest is accomplished. Let me tell you, if whatever they went to discuss with Mr. President has scaled through, to me, I still feel it didn't scale through. Nigeria will still be silent because you and I cannot make laws. We can only grumble.
Yeah.
It is they that can make laws. Why did they wait this long before making such resolutions, if I may ask? So, coming at this 9th hour, well, it's not still too late. It's a nice resolution to at least curb the excesses of the executive, because they making laws they cannot execute. They can only make laws, then the executive will execute. So I think let's see how because if you look at the resolutions, they are full of threats. Either you do this or we do that. Either you do this or you do that. So unless Mr. President is magnanimous enough to say, okay, Nigerians is for everybody, let me not take it personal. Because if he wants to take it personal with the threat there, he will say, go to here and do what you want to do. And the generality of Nigerians will suffer it. It wasn't a polite resolution to me. It was too harsh.
Thank you. We'll come back to you. Let's get the thoughts of a legal practitioner and, of course, the human rights activist right here in Edo State, Patrick Sekwene. You've heard Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki. What's the reaction? Well, we're taking it in turns. He actually gave the joint section gave marching orders to the security agencies and also the need to stop the harassment of Nigerians.
Yeah, Mr. Osa, I think I hold a contrary view.
Okay.
As regard the last speaker.
The first speaker?
I mean the first speaker.
Yes.
Here with me, on the left-hand side.
Okay.
So the issue is that the fact that this action is coming up now, because if you watch the resolution, there are 12, not just one.
Yes.
2, so many. They have to take it holistically. That shows the maturity of the Senate. If after it's long overdue, but you know the Senate, you have various political parties in there, both in House of Rep. It is not easy to reach at a particular, at this juncture. But I commend the Senate for taking the bold step. There's nothing ever late in life. It is when you feel it's necessary to do that, you can go ahead. It is unprecedented in the history of Nigerian politics. For such a joint sitting to discuss the issue of national interest, which has never occurred since 1990 to date. Tell me which of the Senate of the Republic of Nigeria. So it's a Senate of Saraki. That never happened. More joint sittings are probably, issue of budget. Let's see to see how we pass the budget. Or other, probably especially president of any country or some parliamentary visitor of a foreign one, they want to meet them, to know them. That's all. But there have never been in this shop Nigeria where you have the judge sitting to address issues. These issues should not be treated with levity. Because you know too well that they represent us. And whatever they feel that is necessary to uplift the states, they are empowered by the Constitution to do so. Now I will refer you to what they are doing in order to Section 14 of the Constitution as amended in 2011. That is the foundation of Nigeria. The foundation basis of the Constitution. He said Nigeria is a state that is based on democratic and social justice. That is the democracy we are having today. It is the foundation. It's constitutional stipulated under Section 14. Then he said Nigeria is a sovereign country, a sovereign state. It shall be a sovereign state. And sovereignty belongs to the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in which the Constitution divides the power, inclusive of the president. The people are so powerful. It is from them like a stream. That is the source of their power. So, we get the power to elect the president, whatever. You know, said, one, you know, said that the welfare and the security of people shall, it is mandatory, it's not even the direction line, federal power, shall be the primary purpose of government. That is, if the president promised 100 things today, we're not interested. The country makes only 2 things. The security and welfare of the people. It is fundamental. It is there, not Section 14. Which is the guiding principle of any president in power. That's why we're putting under democratic government. These are the issues to look at. Now, the Senate, as you know too well, they are the only body that can impeach the president, can discipline. The court has not power to rule the president. The only power of empower is the Senate, under Section 143, who has the power to discipline, because you have the concentration of power. People are to check the excesses of one another, each other. So if this power is being given to them, nobody, not even the court. But whatever they decide today, the president is impeached, no court will entertain it. That is the end of the president. It goes on. Everyone will not fall. That's what the constitution provides. So it is the power. So being all this resolution, they are telling holistically, issue of security will raise. There is issue of security. Who are being killed like nothing to do with the government their hands, which ordinarily it is the executive or police, SS, or the under executive. Also to do all these things. So if they not fail, the SS police fail, which we have a is the president, who oversees them, who is the commander-in-chief. Then the issue of we talk about the economy today, you don't tell about the economy we have today. so many issues with the race.
Yeah, we're going to come to that.
Listen,
okay, yes.
So the issue of political victimization, opposition are here because you want power. If you are in a house, if you speak in the house where you have a legislative immunity, next thing they target you out to the case study. What happened to you? You are aware how the house was invaded with impunity. Was it a total sacrilege in the house? Or did not happen? It was the issue they raised. And for you to preach a president, you live there holistically. We are all living witnesses. When the DSS invaded the house of judges, it's an aberration. It's not here. It's a taboo.
Yeah, but Mr. Patrick, we have not come to the issue of impeachment.
No.
Yes,
No,
we're going to. Yes. Yeah, I understand.
You know, so no government is not to the
Yeah,
other.
thank you. We know that the legislature is empowered to check the executive, to check the other arm of government. As we continue this discussion, just joining us is another seasoned politician with us, Egosa Agbonifo. Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we'll go straight to Comrade Godwin Irahon to get his thoughts on this resolution. Comrade Irahon, were you surprised with this emergency joint section of the National Assembly?
Yes, surely I was.
Okay.
Like the first speaker said, this issue had been on for quite a long time. Is anybody who does not value his life that will say he has not been concerned about the mass killing in this country for quite a long time?
Okay.
So all of us are concerned about it, and that the Senate, the National Assembly, in a joint session, is now raising alarm. It's okay, but I agree with the first speaker that if they had been proactive, if they had spoken early enough, not waiting for they themselves to be having issues, they now find themselves threatened by the system. I'm sure these things would have been earlier resolved. The issue of impeachment, yes, that is not even an issue yet, because with all due respect to our lawyer here, the process of impeachment is so rigorous. It's going to take a long time and all that. And at the end of the day, they need some reasonable majority of not just the members that are sitting, but the entire members of the Senate to be able to do whatever they want. So that one, I don't even want to raise yet. The issues are, yes, the Senate is justified to caution the security agencies on the need to be more effective and more sincere in the management of our security in this country. Because they are there, like you said, and like he also explained from the Constitution,
yeah.
They are there to ensure the security of lives and property in this country. And sincerely speaking, nobody can dispute the fact that for quite a long time the security agency have been failing. They have failed very woefully in this aspect. So I commend the Senate, but I also blame them for waiting till now to come out the way they did. Nigerians should pray that both of them should be guided by the Almighty God. Let them in the end land in a way that will be of benefit to all of us. It's not a question of victimization. Say, for example, the Senate is doing things that the executive doesn't like, the National Assembly, and then they send the security agency after them. Or when they now see that they want to manipulate the executive to do one thing or the other, and those ones refuse to do, then they now start organizing joint session to threaten them. Nobody should attempt to victimize each other. Let the interest of the majority of Nigerians be paramount. Let it be the guiding factor in whatever that they are doing.
Thank you, Comrade Godwin Irahon. Now let's get the thoughts of Egosa Agbonifo. Yes, the joint section resolution reached. What's your take?
Well, the senators, they are representing from different senatorial districts.
Okay.
And the House of Rep came from different constituencies.
Yeah.
So if they had come up like this, that these are their resolutions, it goes to show you that these are the things affecting the people. So a situation whereby we become so sentimental about issues, that's the problem we are facing in Nigeria. Issues that should be dealt with will now start putting party dimensions, victimization into it. They raised 12 cardinal areas that should be looked into. And when you carefully look into them, you see that these are the things we are complaining about. So because many of us cannot reach the president, we will now start crying, and our representative now said, okay, how do we pass it across? So I don't want us to see this as president fighting Saraki, Saraki wants to fight president. These are the things affecting us. And Nigeria is drifting every day. The best thing the president should do is to overhaul the system. If something is not working, the security apparatus, you have to overhaul them. So you don't have to be sentimental about it. The other day I was speaking, I said the appointment is lopsided. You see that because you want to favor your kinsmen, you don't look at quality of those that we serve. You will now start looking at, is my tribesman? You don't look at the antecedent. So that is the problem we are facing. For instance, I'm elected as a president. I want to employ security chiefs. There are security experts that you will go and check their profile in the military and employ them. Not, I'm looking for a Fulani man. I'm looking for an Igbo man. I'm looking for an Edo man. That is the problem we are facing as a country. Until we start looking at the bigger picture, that it is the people that we want to govern. It is not the tribe. So if we don't outgrow that, it will eat us like cancer. Nigeria is undergoing, we are undergoing a lot. Until we start the chemotherapy now, it will eat all of us. So a situation whereby I'm seated here, I hear those that are senior to us being too sentimental is hurtful, because these are the same people that failed us. That's why we are trying not to fail our own generations, because generations after us, they are watching us. If we now imbibe on this tribalistic sentiment in terms of governance, we will not get there, because our children are looking on to us. What is it we will bring to the table? It has gone beyond sentiment. Issues raised is not to abuse the president, is to correct and put the president in check. So the president should see this as an advantage for him, that they've come together, the majority of the representatives came in accordance not to fight you, but to give you a guideline. Why not? You should be happy that they came and told you, see the blueprint to follow, because they are the voices of the people. They are representative of the people, and they have the power also to impeach you if you don't meet up those 12 cardinals, those resolutions reached, because these resolutions speaks volume of what the people are thinking. So for me, I believe moving forward, we should stop looking at the small picture. We should look at the bigger picture where Nigeria ought to be. It's not the way we are going about it, because tomorrow I have the opportunity to serve with this pattern of governance. It will serve all the ideas I bring to the table, because we are not left that area of tribalism when it comes to appointment. We should put people of worthy character with content, men that understand what security situations are. It's not about those that will do round tripping. They prefer to fund crisis so that there will be more money to build mansions. So we should start looking at a situation whereby we curb the corruption in the military, we curb it in the armed forces, every security apparatus. We should put men of integrity that their purpose is to serve. Well, this thing we are talking about, that $1 billion to fight Boko Haram. Who are the Boko Haram people? So if we have a purposeful men that are heading this security outfit, you will not hear about Boko Haram anymore. We don't have purposeful leadership. All we have is na my brother, na my brother. So for me, I believe that if we must move forward, we should look beyond na my brother. We should look beyond sentiment. When they give resolution like this, look into it and forget the sentimental perspective about it.
Okay, thank you, Agbonifo. We'll go back to Andrew. Part of the resolution, the Joint Section of the National Assembly talked about the president to take responsibility for the actions of his appointees. Now, looking at his appointees, the Joint Session also talked about the need for the president to fight corruption and not be selective. It was a precise comment that the fight against corruption should not be selective, that the president must also prosecute his appointees who have pending corruption cases. So, looking at the president, looking at the fight against corruption, looking at the issues of take responsibility for his appointees, how will you rate the president?
Well, first and foremost, leadership is one thing. Capacity to lead is another thing. For you to say you want to be a president of a country, you must have that capacity to lead. That you are not leading your community, you are not leading your state, you are leading the entire country. First and foremost, what you should be at the back of your mind is, I'm the president of everybody, not one particular section.
Yeah.
Those are the things you will look into to propel you to succeed. For them to have said, president's political appointees, he will take responsibility. They know what they are talking about. Because if you watch carefully, I'm very sorry to say, our president is so to say, is sentimental when it comes to issues.
That's your opinion.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Very sentimental. If you look at, go and look at the list of all the security chiefs. They are all from the north, not just from the north, they are all Fulanis. You don't do that. You don't do that. And again, what is the duty of the legislatures? The Senate. Before you give any appointment, you must go through the Senate. And when the Senate rejects, so be it. You send another person down. Look at some, like the EFCC chairman now. He was rejected twice or thrice. And he's still there. Look at the Controller General of Customs. If you don't want to take the job, leave that place. Controller General of Customs, you'll be invited by the Senate to come and see them. You say you are going with Agbada. You won't wear your uniform. And till today, the person is still there. What does that portray about Nigeria? Once the Senate rejects, good, because they've done their own. They reject whoever you send. They send another person and tell the person. You can even repost that person to another place. For you to say, no, nothing will happen, don't mind them. What does that? In fact, to me, the Senate has been very, very lenient. We have three arms of government: the legislatures, the judiciary, and the executive. And these three arms, they are all separated from each other. They are checks on themselves. No one is superior than the other. But in Nigeria, it's like the executive is superior to other organs. And if I may come in here, it is the legislatures that are even more powerful than the other two arms of government. That's why I said capacity to lead.
Okay.
That's why I still have respect for Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yeah.
If you are a president, the moment you attain that seat, it's a different mindset.
Okay.
You don't look at every other person. This one is my brother. This one is my sister. This one. You take everybody as one, okay, and treat issues as it comes. You don't need to be sentimental. That's why I said I still have respect for our former president Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yes.
When he was there, he fought corruption to a standstill, in the sense that even his own party men, like Joshua Dariye, the late Alimesia, even the former IG Tafa Balogun, he makes sure anybody that is caught corrupt, he will fight you to a standstill, not minding whose horse is going. But in this administration, what they do, if you are in the party, if you are corrupt, you are being left alone to enjoy your wealth, the stolen wealth. But if you are on the other side, they keep chasing them.
Well, I don't think that's correct, because Orji Kalu is a member of the ruling party, but his case is still on. The FCC has amended charges against him.
Has he been prosecuted?
Surely it's going to be, if they've amended charges.
I'm not a lawyer. For the campaign alone, you will see serious enjoyment of that case. It will get to what we were expecting. If you watch Kalu these days, no matter any press statement he gives, it's not insulting Obasanjo, because Obasanjo is no more in power. Praising Muhammadu Buhari. Such people, they are psychopaths. You don't take them seriously, because it's for their own selfish interest.
So what you're saying is that the appointees must be properly checked and their actions must be in the interest of the country.
Of course.
Okay. So we'll get the thoughts of Patrick Isekwene. The Joint Section of the National Assembly made it very clear. They told the president his fight must not be selective. That's the way they made the comment, made the remark, and also asked the president to take responsibility for the actions of his appointees. So do you think the president is doing what is expected of the citizenry?
No, I said no. Capital no. You know when I spoke?
How do you mean?
When I spoke last time I spoke here, I told the issue of taking responsibility. That's why I brought the issue of vicarious liability. Even before it came up now, I've analyzed it here. The president should be held responsible for the action of his agents, that is the IG, security agencies. But he appointed them. He's appointed all. So he must take responsibility. That's what they told him now. So all I'm trying to say is that he's the commander-in-chief, he appoints, he's in charge, he's the boss. So he's to monitor the activities. So whenever they hear, he's the one, not even them. That's why I said he must take responsibility. Like, you see, when I raise the issue of like the, let me make it clear here, for sake of posterity, sake of tomorrow, that like the DSS is invading the houses of the churches as an aberration. It's an impeachable offense. I want to go on that. Because the DSS is under executive, it's under Buhari executive arm, which invading other arm of government. It's an aberration, it's not done. Because based on our constitution, on the third schedule is there, paragraph 21B, it is clear that the issue of removal of a judge, dismissal of a judge, belongs to NGC, not the executive, not the DSS. So what the only person can do, if you have a report from your police, from the DSS, whatever, is to write to the NGC, who is constitutionally empowered to remove, to discipline, not you. So by going to attack a judge, you are invading the judiciary, which is not to the non-such power. In a country where in a country where people are attached to democracy, where they respect democracy, they put to the fullest. The president will be impeached. It dare not try it. Because that's under, you do not have such power. At all, don't go there. You must have your limits. So, but up till now, the people did not say anything. That was it. Because they are the agent of the president. You have to take responsibility. Call them to order, why should you do such a thing? I want to put into trouble. Then the IG of police, which has someone.
Yes.
The IG of police, which has someone, it was twice.
Go ahead.
Twice, it refused to honor the decision of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is an insult. A mere appointee of the executive refused to honor the decision of over one, because they are representative of everybody, everybody here sitting here, over 200 million of Nigeria. A mere appointee of executive that can be removed, sacked under 1 seconds, is now refused to honor the decision of the Senate of the Republic of Nigeria. So these are things he had to take responsibility, but he refused to talk. That's why I said he had to take responsibility. That's why I said under the current liability, the principal is responsible for the whatever action of the agents. He should take responsibility. That's what I told you.
Yeah, thank you, Barrister Patrick. Let's get the thoughts of Ewosa Agbonifo. Yes, the joint session, National Assembly, the resolution is already made. Now, what do you think the way forward?
Like I said earlier, I said the way forward, there's already a template.
Okay.
It's for the president to follow it. And the best way to go about it is to overhaul the system. Okay. For 3 years now, it's not working. And we still have a year. And also, until we start to look beyond 4 years tenure, the better for us. Because most of our leaders, their only concern is what they can achieve in 4 years. No. When it comes to governance, we look at the longer term. We look at the future, that what do I need to do that another successive government will continue. So for me, I believe that there is still time to change things. 1 year is enough to create an impact. First of all, the security apparatus put competent people. When you make appointment, Nigerians will see that, oh, you have made an appointment based on merit, and those people will always be put to check. First of all, I told somebody, I said, having a 76-year-old grandfather, I don't expect much from him if that is the age. So for me, I believe that since we already made that mistake, they should look beyond coming back to lead, not to even serve, because they are not serving us. So if they must come back to serve, they should use this 1 year to prove to us that they've learned their lesson, because so far I believe that they are just robust in the security apparatus. They are not working. So if we must get it right, let's put competent people to help the president. Because when you have a vibrant and young president, you cannot say that the president would be on ground, because we have a president that he has not gone around the 36 states since he became president of Nigeria. We need someone. See, we are growing democracy. A situation whereby somebody will tell you that that's the reason he appointed ministers I disagree, because we are not like other countries. We are still developing. So we need, if you hear that the president pay on scheduled visit to Edo State because he's not happy with what is happening there, you will know that yes, everybody will be on the trails. When they will tell you that the governor is coming to Ministry of Education, you see everybody start sweeping. That goes to show commitment to self, not a situation that you don't even understand what is happening in the country. You are being briefed, you don't understand because of age barrier, because of health grant. If you love the people you govern, there is a way to pave way, because we don't have time. The more time we waste, the worse we become. So for me, I believe that our leaders, for now, we don't have leaders that really love the people they govern. If you do, you see that you are not performing, you will pave way. We shouldn't just have this craze for power. So if we must get it right, my candid advice is for massive participation of the youth, so that we can tell our papa for them to live the same.
You're already leading us to the left.
We can serve better and we can do better. It is us that it will be affected. They've given 76 years of their life. They've lived their life.
I can see how emotional you are. But we're going to come back to you, because our viewer there will really enjoy your thoughts when we start discussing the issue of not too young to run. That bill has been signed to law. But before we get there, we're still talking about the joint section. Yeah. And you have made your comments that there's need for the system to be overhauled. Yes. And some Nigerians have also made their comments in that respect. But let's get the thoughts of Godwin around. What's the way forward? Resolution has been made. What's the way forward?
Well, thank you once more, viewers at home.
Yes.
I agree entirely that the security apparatus, all the security agencies, at least ought not to be manned by, ought not to be headed by persons from a particular part of the country. It should be spread, because we have talented citizens across Nigeria. And that again will give it a national outlook. It would actually affect the effectiveness of our security system. I also agree that there is need for the president to take responsibility for the activities of his appointees. It is so everywhere. If you are, even if you are just an ordinary car owner or a transporter, the activities of your driver, it is the company that bears, the employer that bears the consequences of whatever he does. But I want to disagree entirely with the kind of accolade, the kind of praises that is going to people like Obasanjo and others. If we admire what Obasanjo did to Alame Seya, because Alame Seya was championing the struggle for resource control, then we didn't see that as victimization. When the president of today now has the courage to allow EFCC or the Code of Conduct Bureau to investigate the activities of the Senate president, we say it is victimization. If we want to discuss the areas of where the Obasanjo you mentioned, all the things they did to discuss the kind of victimization.
Yeah, the issue of Obasanjo will be another topic. Yeah, but you are making a point.
I don't want us to go into.
Yeah, we'll not go into the issue of Obasanjo. But I think the point that our discussion has made here is trying to extrail the fight against corruption.
Yes.
Because the Joint Session of National Assembly informed the president that there shouldn't be selective prosecution. And that was very clear in the resolution. But let's leave that, the issue of former president will be looked at maybe in a different fora. But let's quickly look at the signing into law, the bill for not too young to run. And
okay, you have closed me on that.
Yes, okay. With all due respect to you, we want to quickly move to the other because I really need to hear your comment on that too.
Okay.
But we'll just start with Mr. Andrew. Now, are you delighted with that bill? Do you think it's going to enhance the participation of the youths? Or the youths are docile? What's your take on it?
Well, I would say I'm delighted for the youths.
Okay.
But on the second thought, to me, the youth, they've been given ample opportunity to participate in politics before now.
Okay.
Forget about the age.
Yeah.
40 years reduced to 30. But in this country, since the era of democracy, have you seen the 40 years old person aspiring to be the president? No? Governor reduced from 35 to 30. Have you seen anybody that was aspiring to be a governor at the age of 35 in this country? So that age thing has never been a barrier for youth to come in. But what I think the youth would have done was they should have proposed a bill of too old to run. By the time they propose a bill of too old to run, then you and I know that will not be easy in Nigeria to pass. That will checkmate the excesses of our fathers and grandfathers. Civil service, if you put in 35 years in the civil service, you are due for retirement.
Yeah.
If you start working at the age of 25 plus 35, that's 60. And if you look at most of our leaders today that are trying to be president and all that, one way or the other, they are either former permanent secretaries, DGs of federal parastatals, and they've acquired wealth. They are waiting. By the time they retire, with that wealth, they will go into politics and go and contest and win. But when such bills like too old to run, when you are 65, don't run. That is when they will start thinking of the youths. Oh, I have money now, but the law says at 65 you can't run. Ah, this youth is vibrant. Why don't I call him if he doesn't have? Because money is a big factor when it comes to election. Nigeria is not Togo. Nigeria is not Cameroon with 5 million, 6 million population. For God's sake, Nigeria has 200 million as population. About. So tell me, any youth at the age of 30, where are you going to get the money to run for presidency in Nigeria? It's not going to be easy.
Thank you, Mr. Andrew. Let's get the thoughts of Patrick. Yes. You have a different, a contrary opinion?
No, I like myself completely with his position on that matter. Because, well, first of all, the only thing is that I might say that I commend those people, the stakeholders in that bill, those in National Assembly.
Not to commend the president too for signing?
No, I'll come to that now. Okay. Without moving into him passing it, can he sign?
No.
So I'm starting from that is a starting point.
Yes.
It was just for
that is a starting point.
Okay.
For them to have
please go on.
It.
Yes.
Then before they translate to the president, so I also commend the president for signing that bill. So you can see the president when he's meant to make a very mockery statement, but he can start after my own.
Mm-hmm.
I have done my own.
So what does that imply?
So but ordinarily, well, it's a plus to the youth. But for me, I don't see any difference between now and the beer and the former. Because what is the 5 years difference? then it's even laughable. It's laughing in the sense that about in 5 years, where will you get money to? But then you told them about your village, studentship here and here, you graduate, you NYC. You have money for
collection.
For election. It's not feasible, it's not practicable. But I know it's the law.
Of course.
But it's not practicable. That will even more give more power to the old men. Because the man uses people have no money. They sponsor you at the end of the day, you present everything to them. Of course. You're just a messenger.
Of course not.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Patrick. Let's get the thought of Rosa before. Yeah, you are a young politician. Yes, he's a politician too, and you are young. So are you delighted with this new development?
Thank you very much. The not too young to run bill is a welcome development. Oga clearly stated that too old to rule should have been added to it. My opinion is this: all we need now is youth that can really serve, youth that has content. If you must take over from the older ones, you must be ready. You can see the Tony Enaros of then, what the roles they played. So if we are not prepared as youth, we cannot get it right. So we are all clamoring that we want to serve, we want to serve. First of all, you have to check yourself. You have to purge yourself of something so that when it gets to your hand, you don't become a disaster. So we'll not be regretting that, oh, the older ones were better. Because when growing up, you see that the youth then, they were contented and they followed due process. So a situation whereby most of the youth we see today just want to get rich quick and you want to go and give such person leadership. So that would be disaster. So for me, I don't want to miss sentiment because I hate to be sentimental.
Okay.
So if we must get it right as youth, we have to check ourselves if we are qualified enough to say, how do we get that qualification? First of all, we have to go register for a political party. Okay. Start participating. Okay. Then you have your PVC. Okay. Because if you don't participate, you cannot just fall from the sky. There's a party structure. So I keep on telling people, I said, don't be deceived. Don't tell you that, oh, I cannot be a member of this political party. I was told that you have to belong to this secret court. I told them, what do you understand by secret court? Court is just a group of people sharing information. So come inside and be the part of that court.
So what you are saying is that a political party is not a court?
It's not a court. Okay. So don't let people deceive you. Those are just the things that have been said to scare you. And secondly, the other generations did not say we shouldn't participate. Okay. It is we that are not interested. Okay. So now when they want to co-opt you into it, you just show, I'm not interested. After all, I want to go and also somewhere and buy big Mercedes-Benz. We don't want to follow due process. We don't want to grow gradually. I told someone, I said, come register in a political party, then you will understand the workings. We cannot just go and pick you and put you there. There are different intrigues in it. So for me, my advice to youth out there is that start from your ward, start from your street. So there is power in starting from your own front. I told someone, I said, if I did not start from my street, I won't have voice. First of all, I have to look at my road. How do I put flowers in place to make my people in my neighborhood enjoy me first? Before I will now go to my ward, then go to my constituency, my senatorial district. So the youth should understand that in everything we are clamoring for, it takes time and process. It's a process.
Thank you.
So don't just say you are young, you want to go and be president. No, understand how to start from your...
Okay, I think Agoliba has made a point. Don't just say you want to be president. You have to pass through a process. But you can be president. He is not saying you can't be president. You can't be president. The law is already there. Yeah. So we'll just take the final words from Godwin Rahon. Final words on this, not too young to run because we don't have the time again.
Well, I will advise that you moderate the discussion in a way that the time will be equally equitable.
So your part,
so the first I want to say that talking about being too old to run will be very, very adverse to the society because even the youth you are talking about, they are moving forward. Everybody prays to become old and all that. And when you compare it with the civil service, retiring at the age of 60 and all that, remember that the civil service is under the Civil Service Commission. And there is no young man in the Civil Service Commission. There is pensioners that are there. As so it is not that it is bad to have old people. Okay. The young people you are also talking about, the first majority of the governors we had in this state in 1999 were all young.
Thank you very much.
Majority of them were all young. So it is the character. You talk about rigging of election in this country. Who rig election? They are the youth.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Godwin Rahon. That's a very powerful one. And I believe that our youths out there, the young ones out there, have gained from what Godwin Rahon has said. Nobody is stopping the young people from aspiring. It's a level playing ground. And one day, you too will become an old man. So start now. Don't wait. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for being part of today's program. I believe that our viewers have enjoyed your contributions to the discourse. Until next week, do have a wonderful weekend ahead. My name is Ego Sagola, signing off.